Hello, welcome to another episode of the Berry Report podcast. This is Berry Report podcast episode 57. For all of you folks keeping track at home, thank you for joining us. It's been a 2-week hiatus. We had some busyness in the lives of ours, but as always, I'm joined by Art. How you doing this week, Art?
I'm doing really well, Brad. I'm glad to be back and back in the saddle.
Yeah. It's been an exciting couple weeks in the Berry Report, or the BlackBerry land, Berry Report land as well. But we're, 3 days away from April 1st, and we're anticipating the launch of the BlackBerry Key 1 from BlackBerry Mobile, and it's coming April. That's what the time frame that we were told, so we're getting to see that very soon. So we're waiting for that one. We're both going to be getting our hands on devices. I'm sure we'll have more reporting on that. But let's kick off this week's episode with some news coming out of the actual BlackBerry front. Prem Watson, so one of the shareholders of BlackBerry, came out with a statement saying how he has faith in John Chen still, after what's going on with BlackBerry and where BlackBerry is and where BlackBerry is going. He has full belief and full faith in John Chen, and just want to get your thought on that, Art. What do you just from your perspective, how has John Chen done since he's been in there since for a few years now? So what do you think of him and where he's taken this company so far?
At the end of the day, I think that Chen was hired to do. Some would disagree when I say this, but he was set with an impossible task. At least that's how a lot of people thought about it, including me at the beginning. I'm glad he's definitely proved us wrong by turning the company profitable and moving forward in the right direction. I just can't wait till they start rolling out a little bit more of their enterprise side. I'm sure they got a bunch more stuff up their sleeve. With the way Chen's handling it, though, I mean, he's actually handled it, very, very intelligently. You can't fault the guy for trying because he's damn sure doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some people out there that complain about John Chen, and you have two camps that people look at BlackBerry as a business, for the business that they are and what they're doing, and there's also the other side that look at BlackBerry as just a device manufacturer, and the fact that BlackBerry is no longer manufacturing those devices anymore, and the fact that BlackBerry is not selling devices or anything like that. People are going to say, that's Chen's fault. He was wrong for doing that, and he's taking this company to the ground. But on the other side of it, there's going to be people saying he's doing a really good job, and that's where I stand as well. I would love for BlackBerry to be making devices still and everything like that, but they're not. And unfortunately, but TCL is doing it, and there's other companies out there that are doing it as well. And if you look at BlackBerry as a whole as a business, they're getting back into making money again. You take us back to 4 years ago or whatever. BlackBerry was bleeding money. They were just losing money, and they were not looking good financially. And John Chen came in, carved out all the excess fat that's on the meat, and is turning this company into a company that's making money again, being profitable. And we have the I think it's Q3 or Q4 financial 2017 results are going to be on March 31st, so this Friday. So we'll kind of see where BlackBerry stands as far in financial realm. But John Chen has taken his company and turned it around as far as a company. Keep in mind, there's BlackBerry fans out there and everything, but John Chen has to be true to the shareholders, and shareholders are here they're looking to make money. You don't get in the stock market. Try that again. You don't get into the stock market to lose money, or become a shareholder to lose money. You become a shareholder to make money off the company that you believe in. There's tons of BlackBerry shareholders out there. So, I think he's doing a great job, like you said. with BlackBerry and what they've done. Yeah, like you said, there's some dark spots there still, but so yeah, it's been 3 years since he took over as CEO of BlackBerry, which is the third 3-year mark was November 2013. John has brought the company to break even on a cash flow and earnings basis. He retired $645 million of the 1.25 billion of outstanding 6% convertible debentures and replaced the rest with a 3.75 convertible debentures. So yeah, this company's going back to where they need to be a profitable company for BlackBerry. So yeah, I mean, I'm pleased with what he's done so far in the 3-year term. You think about the things that he's done with this company. Getting BlackBerry involved in the Internet of Things, getting BlackBerry involved in the automotive side of everything, and shaping up more the security end of BlackBerry.
You're absolutely right. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that I'm just really anxious to see what else they have up their sleeve. Like I said earlier, it's going to be an interesting year. And what is it? They've got license agreements with in Indonesia, then TCL, and then Optimus Infrastructure in India. So I'm kind of curious to see who they've licensed with, or who they're going to license with, in the coming future. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's where their money's at, right? And that's what Chen's wanting to do. They're a software company now. They're no longer a handset manufacturer.
Yeah, and again, we're all bummed that they're not manufacturing devices in house anymore. But there's still BlackBerry devices around, and that's if it wasn't for John Chen, this company wouldn't A, be standing still, or B, would still be standing but not having any type of play in the device world, and there'd be no BlackBerry devices being rolled out or anything like that. So hats off to John Chen, and I have faith in John Chen as well as far as what he's doing with this company. Speaking of BlackBerry devices, if you have a BlackBerry 10 device and still, I'm still rocking a BlackBerry 10. I know Art goes back and forth every once in a while. BlackBerry World, ToySoft is giving away 11 apps for free with 100 copies of each available if you use the redeem code Thank You on BlackBerry World. Now, this is a limited time offer, so if you listen to this podcast late and you go and redeem it, it's not there. Sorry, it is a limited time offer. But some of the cool apps you can get are Power Tools, Visual Arts, Screen Recorder, Theme Builder, and much more. So nice seeing some free apps being offered from a BlackBerry 10, a big app developer in the BlackBerry world over the years, especially early years. ToySoft, they've been really big in BlackBerry, and they're still, getting downloads on BlackBerry 10 is, that around. So you be checking any of those apps out there, Art?
I've actually, I'm trying to pull the list back up. So it's Power Tools, Visual Arts, Screen Recorder, and Theme Builder.
Yep.
I've used Power Tools and Screen Recorder forever and a day. I think there's probably at least 5, maybe 4 or 5 videos on the NerdBerry YouTube channel that I used that actual app to record some applications and games that were being released for BlackBerry 10. ToySoft, like I said, has been around for years, and they are probably one of my favorites. Power Tools was, the most awesomest app ever.
Yeah.
For BlackBerry 10, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially for like us geeky and nerdy and like to see everything that's going on in the inside of your BlackBerry device and what's communicating to what's being added. It's a great application just to see what's going on behind the scenes a lot and making sure you're getting a full use out of your BlackBerry device. Speaking of BlackBerry 10, though, the 10.3 update a lot of people have been having some issues with that update that have loaded onto a device. I have 4 BlackBerry 10 devices that I fire up every once in a while. Classic, Z10, Z30, and Passport. I wasn't thinking of that one for some reason. Passport and Z10 got 10.3, which is odd. I didn't think the Z10 was going to get it.
I know.
But both of those devices got it. Haven't you really used the Z10, so I can't tell you the usage on it. My Passport works very well still. No hiccups on that device. But some people are reporting hiccups on a lot of their devices, sluggishness, battery drains, everything like that. So BlackBerry knows about it. From what a lot of people are wondering where they're, and some devices haven't seen it. So, like for instance, my Classic and my Z32, not the latest BlackBerry 10 devices, but they're the later tube before the Passport, and haven't seen the BlackBerry 10.3 update. I check daily on those devices, so I have a feeling BlackBerry actually pulled that update from the server, so they can, they are working on fixes for the update, and a lot of people are freaking out. I'm sure BlackBerry is working very hard on this BlackBerry 10 update, even if it's just one person developing for BlackBerry 10 right now, unfortunately. But do you know anybody that has a BlackBerry 10 devices having issues with 10.3 art?
No, honestly, no. I haven't had any problems with them. It's as a power user, I always have battery drains. So, I mean, if it's the OS causing it or if it's just my usage, it really doesn't matter. I got to carry a charger with me. But no, I haven't actually noticed any kind of any hiccups, so to speak, with the later OS or the newer OS, I should say. It could just be a fluke. But you said you're sure that BlackBerry pulled it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if they didn't pull it, because there were some rumors going around that certain devices couldn't handle it, but the fact that my Z10 got it and my Classic hasn't kind of deflates that rumor, because there's no, if there's a device out there that can't handle the Z10 lock, for them to not roll it out to. And I have one of the Z10 was a 01 or 100 devices, and it's a device I got day one at BlackBerry 10 launch event. So, there's no doubt that device should not get it. If it shouldn't, if there's a device out there that shouldn't get it, then Z10 shouldn't. And my Classic hasn't gotten, which is, very strange for, Passport and Classic are launched on side by side each other. Their specs aren't exactly the same, but they're pretty darn close. Not far enough to, render one useful for a software update and one not useful for able for the software update. So yeah, I'm pretty certain that BlackBerry has pulled that 10.3 update, because a lot of people haven't seen it. They're dying to see it. They want to see it on their OS, and unfortunately, a lot of people have to kind of get with kind of let it sink in that BlackBerry 10 right now is in maintenance mode, and it's not going anywhere. BlackBerry 10, as far as an OS, they're not going to just say pull the plug and say no, you can't use those devices anymore, because what was it? A few months ago they got the certification for 10.3, and it'd be silly for them to pull it now or anything like that. So 10.3 or BlackBerry 10 is not going anywhere. It's in maintenance mode, and it's not going to, you're not seeing new features. I think we saw one little change in the browser, but on 10.3, but that was pretty much it. You're not going to see any new features or anything like that. So a lot of people have to realize that 10.3 is in maintenance mode. It's not BlackBerry's go-to OS anymore, and but
unfortunately, yeah.
We don't have this on the topic list, but I've been having a lot of discussions lately with folks in some of the BBM chats that I have, group chats that I have, about is the BlackBerry Priv going to get nougat? And to me, the Priv should get Android 7.0.
Spec wise, absolutely.
I mean,
spec wise, it should.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that it would be silly for BlackBerry just to leave the Priv out and say, "Yeah, we're not going to develop, Android 7.0 for the Priv just because we don't feel like doing so." That to me just doesn't seem right of what BlackBerry would want to do. The Priv is still being sold by some carriers right now, too. To be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If you go, I think Verizon and AT&T still are selling it. So for them not to offer 7.0 for that device would just be, dumb of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. It's going to be interesting to see if they do in fact release N for the Prev. Excuse me. That I think a lot of their issues with releasing it right now is going to be the fact that they've put a lot of focus in on Marshmallow to make it functional and be more secure the way it should be. So, for them to follow, it's probably not. Let's face it. At the end of the day, it's not a huge jump from Marshmallow to Nougat.
No.
It's definitely not, and it's probably fairly simple for them to migrate over. But the question is, how much time and energy do they really want to put into it? Because again, they're not a phone manufacturer any longer. So I think at this point, we might be, it's possible, let me rephrase this. It is possible that we will be stuck with Marshmallow only BlackBerry Prevs. Now, with that being said, I mean, of course, all the licensing agreements and everything like that, I'll put, isn't the Key 1 launching with Nougat?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's right there. There's the proof. So they've already done it, obviously. So it's a question of, do they want to release it?
Yeah, I mean, if you remember back to the Priv launch was before Marshmallow, Lollipop, right? Yeah.
Lollipop, yeah.
The Priv launch with Lollipop, and everyone was like, "What the?" Marshall had just released, 4 or 5 months ago, and BlackBerry's response to that was, "Hey, we want to make sure that this, we know Marshmallow's out there, and we want to make sure we can secure Marshmallow as well. We spent so much time securing Lollipop, right? We spent so much time securing this Android OS, and we want to make sure that we secure Marshmallow as well as we did with Lollipop. Lollipop's ready because that's the OS that we had at the time we were developing the Priv, or Android for the Priv. Same thing with the Android 7.0. They have it ready for Key 1, right? The Key 1's ready to launch. They have it available for the BlackBerry Aurora that launched a few weeks back. So we know it's ready. We know it's sitting there, and there's a lot of people that are in the BlackBerry beta world that are wondering where it is in beta, and it's not available for beta. And beta updates have been slow. And I just think that's just BlackBerry being slow at rolling things out, and I really don't think that they're not going to go with 7.0 on the Priv.
It's going to be interesting to find out. I mean, I've got a few contacts I can reach out to see if they can give us any knowledge or just completely shut us down. Or if we can get an answer, that would be awesome. Excuse me. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know where their mindset is right now, where that's concerned. I mean, they are offering they were offering huge discounts last week on the Priv, and there was one other device I can't remember.
P-Tech 50. They were doing
the 50. Yep. That's right. So it's going to be an interesting conversation with some of our contacts to see if they're even planning on it. If they're not planning on it, they're not going to do it. And if they've talked about it and they still haven't started on it, it's definitely not going to happen.
I think they've started. I mean, if it's ready for Key 1, if it's ready for Aurora, it's got to be ready somewhere down the line for Priv. And I think they're just sitting on the update and just, like I said, like you said, there is a chance that it doesn't come to the Priv. You know, let's say there's always a chance that it's not going to come, but it's not because the priv can't handle it. I mean, you know,
No, absolutely not.
you
The
know,
device is fine.
hardware wise, it should be able to handle 7.0 no problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there might be, you know, some slowness. You know, the processor might slow down a little bit, but not by much.
No.
So it's not about, you know, the priv not being able to handle it. And if BlackBerry doesn't want to do it just because it's the priv and it's not you know, their device is no longer their device anymore because it's not existing, or they're trying to get rid of the priv, it would just be silly for them to do. Like I said, because this device is still being sold today, and it's, you know, come buy this BlackBerry priv, and it's not going to get the next software update, but hey, come buy it anyways. That's what pretty much BlackBerry is saying. You know, and if you look back to BlackBerry 10, right? BlackBerry just had a big fire sale on their BlackBerry 10 devices, like the Passport and I think the Leap and whatnot. You know, that was, you know, if BlackBerry wasn't going to sell, you know, they didn't have that fire sale because they were planning on not rolling out 10.3 to those Passports. You know, they know that, you know, if you're going to buy this device, we're going to expect it to be to get software updates, you know, eventually down the road, maintenance updates, of course, and security updates. But, you know, for them not to do that, I think just I would have to yell at BlackBerry very loud for them not to do that. Not just because I'm a priv user, but it just doesn't make sense, you know, logically for them to do so. Another thing sorry, I'm throwing I'm throwing Art off here with my random topic.
It's all good. It's all good.
Art told me 2 days ago to get a topic list. I got him one 30 minutes ago. But so BlackBerry started sending out alerts to users saying that the BlackBerry support forums are no longer going to be up and running, which, you know, and a lot of people started freaking out. And, you know, I was talking to a lot of people about this, and one of my fellow BlackBerry users, and honestly, you know, it's a bad thing, right? Because, you know, it's another place to go for support for your BlackBerry 10 devices. I get it. Your BBOS, so there's still support articles up there for BBOS as well. But how often, Art, can you tell me, how often do you go to BlackBerry support forums for support?
I've got too many friends in the BlackBerry community. It's just easier to BBM them and find out if they have an answer, or they'll be BBM me, or obviously you as well, to answer their questions. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if you go so in the email that they're sending out, they're telling people go check out Crackberry for support, pretty much, which theoretically we've all done that already. Because
that's how I started, man.
If you Google anything BlackBerry related, the pretty much the first result that pops up is something in the Crackberry forums, and, you know, which, you know, makes sense for them to start. You know, I used to remember working in the wireless, you know, retail world. I was talking to somebody from the retail end, not working at the same company that I did, but they would tell me that they would always tell people just go check out Crackberry. They didn't know what the results, you know, they didn't know the answers to the questions they had about their device, but go check out Crackberry. So everyone's checking out Crackberry or other BlackBerry forums already for support for these devices. And yeah, like I said, it's a big thing because BlackBerry's, you know, we're starting to see BlackBerry really, really cut the ties from their BlackBerry from devices, you know, get rid of the support forums and, you know, everything like that. But on the other side of the table, who goes there, really?
Yeah, I really don't think there's that many people that actually go to those forums, to be honest with you.
It probably costs them more money to keep the servers up and running than it's going to cost them, you know, it's costing them a lot of money to keep those servers up. And if they have
absolutely
one person up, you know, visiting that site every 12 months, you know, there's no point in keeping those servers up or that website up for them. And, you know, but if you need support, come check out, you know, come ask us. I just started the BerryPorter.com BBM fan group. If you check out it's a article on BerryPorter.com. Come chat with us. Come chat with me. Ask me a BlackBerry, you know, related question. I could probably answer it quicker than you can find it on BlackBerry support forums for you if you want. So, not to get away from depressing news like that. Recently, the past week, Super Mario Run was released for Android. It was originally on iOS. It had a exclusive to iOS, but now you can go ahead and download Super Mario Run if you already haven't for your Android device, including your BlackBerry Priv, DTEC 50, DTEC 60, soon to be Key 1, and your BlackBerry Aurora as well. I think it's available over there. But have you checked out Super Mario Run?
Yes, I have actually, and it's honestly quite addicting. To be honest, it is really quite addicting. I've actually got it loaded on the Pixel and the Prev.
Yeah.
So that way I can kind of bounce back and forth. When I switch my phones, I can still have my games ready to rock and roll, you know?
Do you think it's worth $10 to keep going?
No,
not
at all.
Yeah, I mean,
no, not at all.
It's a fun game, especially if you're, if you've ever touched any type of video game system in the past 30 years or whatever. And everyone knows who Super Mario Brothers is, so it's a fun game to play and throw on your device. It's kind of a hefty application to put on there. So if you're looking to save space on your device,
it's about 60 megs, I think.
Yeah, you might want to steer clear of it, but it's a great time waster if you're waiting for the doctor's office, or if you're waiting for a meeting to start, or if you're trying to not pay attention during a meeting, or in church. Not just kidding, don't do it in church, kids. But yeah, it's a great little application that it's fun to see it finally make its way to the Android, which is nice. Those darn Apple people got dibs on it first, but yeah. So another cool thing, the BlackBerry Key 1 made its way through the FCC approval here in the States, which means it's pretty close to getting ready to be sold here in the States. And so I believe, what's the version number for the FCC real quick? It came through as a BB, which they're still getting the BB labels, they're of course BlackBerry devices, but okay, so it came through the FCC. So FCC ID is 2A Charlie Jack Nancy 016, or 2A Charlie J Jack Nancy 017 for the CDMA versions. So there is a CDMA version of this device, which a lot of people are still assuming that there's only a GSM version of this BlackBerry Key 1. So that means that this device is getting ready to launch. We don't know who it's launching for yet. We don't know. None of the U.S. carriers have said anything about this device, but I'm sure one of them, if not all four of them, will grab it. I know BlackBerry mobile team is actually in talks with Sprint still, and Sprint has sold a lot of the TCL devices over the years, so I wouldn't be surprised if Sprint grabs this device. I wouldn't be surprised if AT&T grabs this device. T-Mobile's issue with BlackBerry is weird right now. Has been weird for a while. They had they had the Priv. Before the Priv, they had the Classic, and then they had the Priv.
They had the Z10.
Yeah.
And before that, it was just, I think, the 9900.
Yeah, but the Priv had like a 3-month time frame or lifespan, pretty much.
Yeah,
After like 3 months, the T-Mobile was just like, yeah, get it off the shelves and move on. So I don't know what T-Mobile's going to do. None of this is official, so don't go expecting, calling AT&T and say, hey, I heard on the Berry board that the phone's going to be launching. But I'm pretty certain I'm not pretty certain, but I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something soon about these carriers in the U.S. getting it. So yeah, it's been through FCC, and it's, it's almost go time. It's like I said, what's today? It's the 29th of April here in our neck of the woods, and some people's neck of the woods it's the 30th already. But it's getting close. I don't think we'll see this device April 1st, or even we might start seeing things get worked around next week, so to say. But it'd be very interesting to see how BlackBerry Mobile does this, because today was the S8 announcement, which, for those of you paying attention, the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. So Apple Jr. is at it again, naming their devices after one another. But that device launches on the 21st of April here in the States, and I think worldwide too. So it'd be very interesting to see if BlackBerry Mobile, once it gets this thing rolled out as quickly as possible, or if they're going to wait their time and get this thing rolled out towards the later half of the month after the S8. So what do you think? Do you think they're going to would you, if you're BlackBerry Mobile, would you rather launch before or after the S8 here in the States, at least?
Well, I mean, since the device has already been announced, I definitely would rather see it getting released beforehand. Get it out to market before the S8 hits the market, and once it gets out to market, chances are that people are going to like it and love it and want more of it. So I think if they beat Samsung to market, then they actually have a chance with that device here in the US.
Yeah, I think I'd rather launch it afterwards. Let the dust settle with the S8. Especially if you start, making partnerships with some of these carriers and say, here, we'll give you X amount of dollars if you put this on this big display case in front of the S8.
In front of it, that would be awesome. That would definitely be awesome.
S8 is here, and just put the key one like right here, so it pops it a little bit. If you're listening to the audio version of that made no sense to you whatsoever. But that's why you should tune in live on YouTube. We do visual gestures here on the Bear Report podcast. Thank you to everyone who's viewed in, by the way, with this live episode. But yeah, so the key ones get ready to go, and we got the S8 launching roughly the same time. I know Samsung, they wanted to get this thing out in April because of the key one. I'm pretty certain they were scared a little bit. What do you think?
And I think rightfully so. They should be, because this is basically the first device since the whole Note fiasco, and at the end of the day, I'm actually still leery about the whole Samsung devices now.
Yeah.
I wish them well, and I hope that that they've worked out all the kinks. Obviously, they probably have, because there's been talks that they are actually going to start selling refurbished Notes, and I guess I don't have a real choice not to, because I mean they've already got tons and tons of money tied up into the product. So they have to get it fixed. They have to bring it to market, whether it be new or refurb, because they have to recoup that loss. That's a major, major loss for them. And it's also a huge blow, number one, to their ego, number two, to their pockets, and number three, to their customer, their customer base. Because at the end of the day, I know a lot of people that have gone out and bought the Note and had it swapped out, and then had to go and send it back in and get a whole new different phone.
Yeah.
A lot of them ended up jumping Samsung's ship and either switching to LG or to the Google Pixel by HTC, and
some even went to Apple.
Unfortunately, a couple of them went to Crapple.
Yeah. So it was funny. So a couple of things on that. So I think Monday, Samsung came out with some kind of news story about how they're going to start selling refurbished Note 7s. And then a day later, a story came out about a Samsung store catching on fire. So I'm like, okay, is this just a sign to Samsung that says just leave the notes, just don't do
Just
it,
leave the notes alone.
just leave them alone, leave them, put them back.
Back away from the Note 7. It's time to move on.
I mean, it's a huge blow to Samsung because, and this is a BlackBerry website, but we'll talk about this anyways. The Note 7 or the Note lineup is Samsung's device. That's their flagship phone.
Absolutely.
Not the S7, not the normal device. The Note is the flagship device. I've talked to, Samsung reps, in other events before, and they said that Samsung's idea is build the Note lineup and then custom the S7, the Galaxy S7 with the specs of the Note. And that's pretty much what they tried to do. Now, they're not going to do that with the S8 because of the fact that if they copy the Note, they're just going to be like, people are going to be like, that phone's just going to explode. But so the other point to that, today LG came out with something on Twitter. I think they sent it out to media first. They didn't do anything Twitter-wise. But they gave like a checklist. So they said, our phone does this, their phone does that, our phone does it. And one of them said, we have a battery you can trust. They don't.
That's brilliant. I love marketing like that. I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the S8 and how well they're – hopefully, if I'm BlackBerry Mobile and if I'm TCL, I'm throwing that stuff into my marketing pool and saying, hey, choose us because we have, devices you can trust and a battery you can trust and
proven track record.
Proven track record, When's the last time you heard a BlackBerry device exploding?
Never.
There's not many around to hear about, so you can't really hear it. But yeah. Anything else you want to add to this week? It's kind of a short show. We've been away for 2 weeks.
I thought there was something. Yeah, it is getting less and less, which is not a bad thing because at the end of the day they are moving to enterprise markets and software markets. I'm just trying to get an email pulled up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, especially as we're getting closer to the Key 1 launch, we're not going to really hear too much. Before the Key 1 announcement, we had, rumors of the Key 1, what the Mercury's going to do and everything like that. And we're getting that device, we'll be certain to have a special Bear Report podcast of when me and Art both have our Key 1s in hand, so we can kind of give our take on them and such like that. But it's kind of a slow news time in the BlackBerry world and kind of in the tech world too.
It is definitely.
With Samsung picking up a little bit, but yeah, I mean everything enterprise is. Participate in a webinar or participate in half of it. I have to watch the rest of it for some of the BlackBerry enterprise stuff and some of the things that got coming. So we'll have more on that on bearreport.com. But yeah, anything else you want to add, Art?
I think we covered it all, man.
Yeah, we do. So thank you guys for joining us for this week's episode of the Bear Report Podcast, episode 57. Hey, if you are listening to this on your phone, your BlackBerry device, if you're listening to us on another Android device, have at it. But make sure you subscribe to our podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go over to YouTube, search bearreporter.com. Just put Bear Reporter, you don't have to put the .com. You'll find us right away. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll be notified every time we go live for these podcast episodes itself, and they're fun to hang out with. We got tons of people chatting with us every once in a while when they come through, and it's you guys give us your 2 cents. We'll read it live on the air. So, and if you're listening to us on a phone, make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends, family members, even if they don't have a BlackBerry device, they can kind of get a different perspective of BlackBerry. So, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next week on the Bear Prep Podcast. See you guys later.
See ya.